What's up, Taiwan? I'm Jeremy Olivier, bringing you the latest news from here in Taipei. On Wednesday, China will hold a military parade to mark 80 years since Japan's surrender in World War II. That event is controversial here in Taiwan, with the government urging the public not to attend. But one prominent figure from the opposition Kuomintang has flown to Beijing for the parade. Joining us now from our Taipei newsroom is Leslie Liao, who's been following this story. Leslie, who is this KMT figure?
Well, Jeremy, that would be Hong Xiu-zhu, former lawmaker, former presidential candidate, and former chair of the KMT. She's a highly decorated member of the party. Hong's office said that she arrived in Beijing on Monday evening to attend the military parade. Hong said in a statement that the war between Japan and China is a shared memory by people in both Taiwan and China, and that her trip there is meant to commemorate and honor those who fought against the Japanese in World War II. Hong's attendance is controversial because Taipei takes issue with China's event. China says that it's celebrating Japan's defeat in World War II at the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, which currently rules the country. But Taiwan, which officially represents the Republic of China government, says that it's the one that led the fight against the Japanese, and that Beijing, with this military parade, is trying to distort history and erase the Republic of China's past to reinforce the claim that Taiwan belongs to China. And with someone like Hong attending the event, while it may seem like Hong is taking sides with China's version of history.
So, Leslie, has Taiwan's government responded to Hong's trip?
Well, the foreign ministry here has said that Hong's attendance does not represent the greater Taiwanese sentiment.
如果有国人出席中方的活动相关的行为，这不仅和台湾的主流民意相违背，也更不能代表台湾以及全体人民的立场。
We also reached out to the Mainland Affairs Council, the government body that manages Taiwan's relations with China, and they said that current government officials and those who previously held seats in areas like defense, national security, and diplomacy are barred from attending the September 3rd Beijing military parade. But as for party members or private citizens, well, the council says that it just urges those people not to sign any agreements with the PRC or cooperate with any of China's propaganda campaigns. Otherwise, they may face legal repercussions when they return to Taiwan.
Thanks for that update, Leslie. That was Leslie Liao reporting live from our newsroom in Taipei. China's military parade will bring together world leaders, including Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, in a show of defiance against the West. Taiwan has banned its dignitaries from attending, with officials here calling the event a distortion of history. John Van Trieste reports.
Security's tight on the streets of Beijing as the city prepares for a military parade that has the world's attention. A parade marking 80 years since Japan's surrender after years of brutal war with China. The message here is that it was China's ruling Communist Party that got the job of defeating Japan done. It's quiet for now, but in just a day, some of China's most advanced weaponry will proceed down this road, along with more than 10,000 troops, a show of how strong China's military's become. Though there are some restrictions on daily life, and not everyone's sure they'll get to see the parade, there's a mood of anticipation on the streets.
稍微有点影响是吧？整个什么有些这个交通线路啊，什么这个那几天都有些放假了是吧？不让通行的，有些地段管制了。但是这没事啊是吧？国家这么大的事，我们应该要听国家的是吧？
我朋友看到过，但是我没有，因为我感觉是不是最近北京那边管得比较严，比较戒严，就是我感觉我们普通老百姓可能是过不去的。但是我自己是非常想去的，想去亲临现场看一看。
Those who will definitely get to see the display include a range of invited world leaders. These include African leaders like Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa, who are being welcomed in style, as well as some VIPs who find common cause with China's challenge to the United States and its push for a multipolar world. Kim Jong-un is on the way from North Korea in his armored train. And Russia's Vladimir Putin, fresh from a Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, will be there too. One place watching the parade especially closely is Taiwan. China claims Taiwan and says it won't rule out using force to take it. But Taiwan sees itself as sovereign, using the official name the Republic of China, or ROC. While the parade will show off China's latest military tech, the reaction to the event in Taipei is as critical as it is cautious. Officials in charge of China ties say the idea the Chinese Communist Party beat Japan is a distortion of history. Most of the fighting was carried out by the ROC's nationalist forces, and that the Chinese Communists that later pushed them to Taiwan only used the conflict with Japan to strengthen themselves. Then, as Taiwan's deputy minister in charge of China ties says, there's the issue of the bill for the parade and who will end up footing it.
那今天9月1号正好是中国实施强制社保的日子哦。那有很多的这个基层的这个中小企业啦，甚至是劳工哦，缴不起这个保费，那他们愿意花费超过1500亿台币来举办一场军演，但是却忽略掉现在中国内部经济、还有劳工、还有社会这些问题哦。我也不晓得这个中国的人民碰到这样的情况，心里会作何感想。
Whatever people's true feelings, the spotlight is coming to Beijing Wednesday. The decorations are set, the stands ready, and even from the rehearsals, the message is clear. China has arrived as a global military power. The question now is how rivals like the United States and those in Beijing's crosshairs like Taiwan adapt. Luffy Li and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan President Lai Ching-te has emphasized national unity in a speech to military members on the eve of Armed Services Day.
但我们要的和平，是透过实力达到的真和平。唯有强化国防战力，落实全民团结，我们才能够真正守护国家主权与民主、自由、人权。
Lai said his administration remains committed to improving pay and working conditions for military personnel. This comes amid a debate over whether next year's defense budget should include increased benefits. Lai also presented awards to distinguished service members at the ceremony. New appointments to Taiwan's National Security Council are raising eyebrows for how young they are. But the president hopes these young people can bring new perspectives to the council. Tiffany Wong has more.
Taiwan's National Security Council may be turning a new leaf. Recent appointees are notably young for their posts, with the average age of the 3 deputy secretaries at just 37 years old. The group includes new additions Li Wen, who leaves his post as a spokesperson for the presidential office, and Vincent Zhao, a Taipei city councilor. They joined Deputy Secretary General Lin Feifan, who had been the youngest ever to take the position when he was appointed last year.
市政议题即便重要，这一切仍建立在维护台湾的民主与国家安全之上。这也就是说，身为民意代表，我们都必须正视台湾处在一个非常复杂的地缘环境。
Zhao previously headed the political division of Taiwan's representative office in the U.S. and also has experience working in the foreign ministry. It's hoped his experience, along with his relative youth, will breathe new life into the NSC.
主要就是民进党想要培养他自己的国安外交的人才。那当然，目前的川普政府他未来的一个对台政策，可能还有相当程度的不确定性。我们台湾当然希望说能够有更了解川普政府的一些人才，能够在我们政府里面工作。我想这是赵一翔他会被重用的一个很重要的关键。
The cabinet shakeup comes on the back of a failed mass recall movement this summer, and as the ruling party seeks to restore public confidence. With Taiwan facing ever-increasing gray zone threats from China, those in charge of national security will tackle challenges bigger than ever before, and the public will be watching whether the new appointees will bring the fresh blood and new perspectives the country needs to better protect itself. Chris Ma and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has launched a series of events to mark National Disaster Prevention Day on September 21st.
3、2、1。114年国家防灾日正式启动，请全场一起响起热。
The activities include seminars, disaster awareness campaigns, and emergency drills. The biggest event is a 3-day large-scale rescue operation in Yilan, simulating an earthquake and tsunami. This follows a recent quake in Japan's Nankai Trough, which raised fears of a huge wave.
所以这次我们就设定为，如果在我们的琉球海沟，也是我们宜兰县的外海发生地震的时候，然后而且发生海啸的警报，我们台湾的民众要怎么样去做海啸的避难跟逃生？
National Disaster Prevention Day was introduced in 2000, a year after a magnitude 7.3 earthquake. A high-profile security summit in China saw several non-Western leaders signal cooperation on a new world order that challenges U.S. dominance. There are also backing calls to build a new development bank. Our reporter Chris Gorin explains what happened at this year's Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit.
This marks the end of more than 20 national leaders meeting in Tianjin, China. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, Chinese President Xi Jinping pushed for a new multilateral world order.
和平发展合作共赢的时代潮流没有变，但冷战思维、霸权主义、保护主义阴霾不散。
In a joint declaration, member states agreed to establish a new development bank. China also pledged about $280 million in aid and $1.4 billion in loans this year to support the bloc. India and Russia were central to both the optics and message of the summit, with their leaders standing together and praising ties, after new U.S. tariffs on India took effect last week over its purchases of Russian oil.
कठिन से कठिन परिस्थितियों में भी भारत और रूस हमेशा कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चले हैं। हमारा करीबी सहयोग न केवल दोनों देशों के लोगों के लिए बल्कि वैश्विक शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है।
This sentiment echoed by Russian President Vladimir Putin, referring to Modi as a dear friend and lauding their cooperation on the international stage. Putin also met with the leaders of Iran, Vietnam, and Turkey, signaling a broader, non-Western alignment. Wrapping up the summit, China's foreign minister echoed his leader, calling for an end to what he called the monopoly on global governance.
多边主义是全球治理的基本路径，全球治理是大家的事儿，关系到每一个国家的切身利益，要靠协调合作，而不是单边霸凌。
China ends the summit, its largest ever, with momentum. Now, the bloc of nations will find out if declarations can result in deliveries. Patrick Chun and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
The European Commission suspects Russia of jamming the GPS system on a plane carrying EU chief Ursula von der Leyen on Monday. The Financial Times reports that von der Leyen was en route to Bulgaria on Sunday when the plane's navigation system went down, forcing the aircraft to land using paper maps. The plane landed safely, but Bulgarian authorities say they think Moscow was responsible for the incident. Jamming and spoofing attacks have been common in the Baltic region since the start of the Ukraine war, but it's unclear if von der Leyen's plane was deliberately targeted. Taiwanese Olympic gold medalist boxer Yu-ting will not be competing at the World Boxing Championships in Liverpool later this month. Her team says they submitted gender eligibility tests to World Boxing as required by new rules, but the organizing body did not confirm her eligibility in time. Lin faced controversy at the Paris Olympics last year after being falsely accused of competing as a transgender woman. That followed an earlier claim by the International Boxing Association that she had failed gender tests in 2023. Taiwan's government insists Lin was born a woman, and the International Olympic Committee said she was fully eligible to compete. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Check out our website or social media for more of our stories. Finally, we take a look at Haitian dancers who are using their performances to showcase their history. I'm Jeremy Olivier. Take care and see you next time.